Why are there so many Backrooms games? Hello everybody, what is going on? My name is Sam, or the Pyro Ninja, and I spend way too much time staring at the Steam store page. Now, trend chasing has always been a thing. So I want to talk about one of the copycat trends I've been seeing recently, and that is the Backrooms. Right now we are just taking a look at what happens when you go to Steam and look at Backrooms, and we can just go through here and see just everything that's out and upcoming that is quote-unquote the Backrooms. Now, I'm not saying all of these games are bad or that all of them shouldn't exist. I find the Backrooms to be a very interesting concept, and it is a world I want to see more people expand on. But it seems like a lot of them are just going with the bare basic ideas to get on that Backrooms craze. So the first one I wanted to talk about is Into the Backrooms. Taking a look at this game, we can see that, looking at the photos, the game looks relatively nice. And like looking at all these environments makes you go like, oh, okay, this might be interesting. But then like taking a look at, for example, here, the Backrooms Deeper. Taking a look, we are going to be seeing like very similar environments. Hell, look at this screenshot. Look at this screenshot. And then let's go back. Like, look at this. Is this the same game? Because the issue is, like, you look at what the Backrooms is. It's a maze. It is a labyrinth. There's only so many ways you can design a maze when so many things are, like, stuck in place and have it be different enough from other games. Starting with your first world, you have to have the yellow. You gotta have the yellow. You gotta have the tiles. I swear, like this is just way too similar. Like, I just don't know if these are pre-made assets. I'm sorry if they're not, but again, like these two just, it looks so similar. The issue is, since like the first version of this is a YouTube series, right now we are seeing just everyone rush to try to make the game. Everyone wants to make the game that becomes the iconic Backrooms. Just like how Kane Pixels kind of won the YouTube war for the Backrooms. So right now what we're seeing is just like this arms race of people trying to make the game, and for a lot of them it's going to end up being the same game to either get whatever sliver of the Backrooms money they can get, or to become the quote-unquote like poster child for the Backrooms. Taking a look at another one, we have Rooms Within. Taking a look at this one, like, again, it's just a maze with a wobbly texture on this one. Like, look at that. And it's something where, like, again, this game is coming out in a few months, and all you have is, like, just screenshots from within the Backrooms environment. Something that, like, the layout is gonna be very similar. This isn't presenting anything where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fresh and interesting take. It doesn't look the same, but it's not showing anything that's, like, standing out. Now, taking a look at another one, Backrooms VHS, like, again, the world looks interesting, but that's just, like, what the Backrooms is. It's something where, like, the Backrooms has such an iconic look to it that all of these games are gonna look the same. Like, I don't know. It's just something where, like, right now, we are burning the candle on both ends. We're gonna get to a point where just, and maybe we've already hit it, where people are burnt out on the Backrooms because there's been such an arms race to, like, get all this content out in the Backroom style. Like, for this game, like, the environments look creepy. Like, I like these shots here. Like, this stuff looks pretty creepy. I like that. But I'm also just, like, trying to figure out what the substance for these will be, other than just, like, walk in scary room, that like every world has. I guess that's like the biggest thing for me is I just don't know how they can make it, because the whole point of the Backrooms isn't like, oh, you have a monster chasing you that you need to escape. Like, yeah, that's a part of it, but like the big thing is just like you're gonna be stuck here basically for eternity and exploring the worlds. With the Backrooms, so much of like the lore has already been made and people just want to stick to like what is considered quote-unquote canon, that it just makes it so like, what are we supposed to do? How are we going to innovate in this to make it a new and like interesting idea? And I guess for a lot of them, I don't know if they want to make a new and interesting idea. Now, one that I do have to give credit to, for example, within the Backrooms. Taking a look at this game, like, yes, it does have the Backrooms style, but also it is throwing in some things that are like feel a bit more unique. Like, look at this. We got a biblically accurate angel. We got like the play set. We got whatever the hell this is. Blue. Like, it's something where just these little things that it's showing, at least there's some bit of spice to it. I think that's the thing. It's like with so much Backrooms content, if you just try to make something that is like Backrooms the game and stick to it like so rigidly and so like uniformly, like it's just gonna look the same as everything else. There needs to be some form of twist, some form of like actual creativity in the project to make it like worth playing. I mean, if I had an infinite wallet and all these games came out, I would find it very interesting to go through and play through all of them to try to figure out what makes them all different. If they are just all cash grabs of the exact same thing, or if the developers behind it are working to try to make something interesting. And maybe it's a bit of both. Like, I'm not going to fault the creators for wanting to use an interesting IP to make their game. I think it's just, with the amount of oversaturation there is, it's going to become a real timeline where, like, it'll come out and just, there will be so many Backroom games and they will all look the same. That you'll need something, like they're doing here, to try to differentiate yourself in any way. Other ones I look to be getting a bit of popularity is stuff like Backrooms of Reality. Like, looking at it, it looks... Jesus Christ. Okay, shaky camera there. Again, this same goddamn hallway. Like, it's something where, like, yeah, the game looks good. Like, it's got them shaders on to maximum. What is, like, the substance of these games that make it so they are different from one another and they feel good to experience? Like, yeah, just looking at everything, there's just so many of them coming out. And here's something I will say. I'm not gonna go around being like, oh, all of these games are gonna be bad, don't play them. Like, that is not what I'm trying to get at. But one of the things you notice is, when looking at these games, looking at the developers, let me go through. Taking a look, only game listed on their Steam. Only game listed on their Steam. Only game listed. Only. The only developer in this series I pulled where this isn't their first game on Steam is the first developer we were looking at. And their first game was released a few days ago. Like, look at that. November 10th, December 8th. Less than a month between releases. Again, I'm not going to speak to quality, but like that churn time. It's just something where you would hope that, like, for a lot of these developers, this might be just like them getting into the game development sphere. And if it is, great. Like, having this as your inspiration to try to make a project can be really good. I think the only thing that makes me concerned is the fact that since a lot of these games are going to probably be very similar, a lot of them probably aren't going to perform well. and might get you disheartened. And something where, like, if that does happen, and this is something where you aren't just doing it as a cash grab, but you're genuinely passionate about game design, like, don't let this dishearten you. This is an arms race, and for a lot of people, it's their first time doing the run. I don't know, it's just something that, like, I've been seeing a lot, just looking at all of these games coming out. I just know that, like, come mid-2023 to, like, early 2024, we'll probably have moved on. We'll be on the next big trend. And it's going to be very disheartening seeing a lot of these games just kind of get made and thrown into the pile. Again, like, hopefully people who are working on these that do genuinely want to go into game design aren't going to get disheartened by this, and that they can use this as a learning experience and kind of take what they learn from these projects to hopefully grow and make things, like, from their own mind. Because I don't have any problems with people, like, making games based off IPs. Like, the SCP games I find to be very fascinating. It's just with this many, I don't know, it's just gonna be very cluttered by the time this trend dies. And that's a bit of a rant, bit of a ramble. Hopefully you learned something from it. If you have any thoughts on my takes on these backrooms, please let me know. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and see y'all next time.